Yep,
And
and
here
we
we go.
start. We have the empty slot of Santi, Rip Santi. But his power went out, so he will not be able to race. Let's see. AJ, not very. We saw, of course, Izzy almost always starting from pole position, and he got some complaints about going too slow, but AJ seems to be really picking up the pace here in front of Izzy. And I
I
think
do believe.
he's right to do so, as the tires, as has been said before, um, heat up very quickly on this track.
If we can, real quick, move down to the back of the grid, Havoc. Let's
One
move on board
second.
with him. Coming very, very close to hitting Mary on the formation lap. That would have disqualified him for the formation lap altogether. His right left almost came into contact with Mary, as all the drivers are trying desperately to heat up their tires. Moving up to Izzy, I'm sure with the amount of pole. Let's
Yep.
see real quick how many pole positions he had last race, or last season, I mean.
Yep. And while you are looking that up, it's very weird to see that empty slot going at, seeing it go from P1 to, and then to 4 where Leica is. Williams have been very spread across the grid lately, or for this race at least. Uh, Seeing as Leica is starting top 3 now, and Havoc starting dead last. But I think battles will contain AJ and Izzy. Leica and Max, they have been very susceptible to battling in the past, and they are very similar drivers, and they always have very fun battles to see. Um, and then I think the two Ferraris may actually battle more than uh, Bagpuss and Mats, for example. So we are currently lined up on the grid. Let's see. So here we have Izzy's driver card. He's got 7 podiums, 7 finished races, and 6 pole positions last season. And it's
Real quick, and
away
it's
we go
lights up.
for
Sorry.
the Spain preseason event. AJ going wide, letting Izzy by real fast. Furthermore, Max gets overtaken by Bagpuss, and both of the Ferraris move up a spot. Like a
Lika,
yeah,
no, okay, sorry. Lika moving ahead of the Ferrari, Bagpuss fighting very, very hard, trying to get past with Max close behind.
oh, and Bagpuss goes off. Bagpuss goes off
Bagpuss
into
is
the
off.
gravel. That is
Bagpuss is
very
off the
bad.
track. That
For
might be
him,
his
he is
race
currently very
over.
lagging behind with very hot tires. He may have to pit earlier now because of the more tire degradation. Max very following Leica very, very closely, only 0.2 seconds behind him. Going into turn 10, that is now, the very tight hairpin, and into the S's. Let's see. Mary also very close behind Max, but Max following Leica very closely. We will see more of that during the race. Havoc very close to Mats as well, but not many overtakes just yet.
Lika keeping his ERS as low as possible so that he can try and use this lap to pull away from Max, but I don't think Max is going to let that happen. Now 0.2 seconds behind and closing in quickly. Let's jump on board with him, see how he's doing.
Who would you want to jump on board?
Maximus.
Yep,
Max.
I am.
Alright, Max trying his best to save his ERS, but also push as hard as he can to try and catch Lika. It might not be very good. They're both on the medium tire. I'm not exactly sure how degraded they are, but
Yep.
let's move up real quick to the onboard with AJ. AJ, who was sitting on a comfortable pole position, has just moved down into P2, trying his best to catch up to Izzy, but I don't think it's going to be very quick. He might have to wait until they get DRS.
So there we see the magic of Izzy once again, but Maximus is getting very close now. Maybe even looking to dive bomb Lyco, or maybe overtaking him when DRS is enabled, which is of course in lap 3. Oh god, you take over for a second.
Alright, of course, Lika battling hard with Max, trying to defend the position as much as possible and stay away. If we move up to Lika through the broadcast cam,
Yep.
he is keeping his fuel low. AJ setting the fastest lap of the session, a 122.154. Lika has just moved his ERS deployment up, then he's moved it back down for this very technical portion of the track that is Sector 1. AJ now catching is a T. DRS has been enabled for these drivers, and I already can tell AJ is going to try and use that to the best of his ability to catch up with Izzy.
Yes.
Izzy, I'm sorry.
No.
You may go ahead now.
Leica is actually using 0 DRS, which is weird, because he has plenty, but he might be waiting for Max to overtake him so he can use his ERS then, but I was mistaken, as he is now using 3 or high ERS. I mean, coming into turn 10 now, Max is just trying to get closer and closer over these in sector 3, and he can follow so closely. It's amazing.
If we may move up to AJ real quick, he's gonna get DRS. He's gonna put on his ERS to overtake. He moves up quickly. He moves down the inside and he overtakes Izzy. Very nice move from AJ as he goes into corner 1. Izzy close behind.
Oh, Max is also going, trying to
overtake.
lunge down the outside of Leica, now going into turn 2, was wheel by wheel, but Leica comes out on top, and Max stays where he is, but what a move by AJ.
This is a
very clean.
interesting race. This is a very amazing race. Maximus staying close behind Lika. Lika trying his best to defend the position while keeping it clean, giving him enough space. Maximus getting a bit of dirty air, but he keeps it clean in the slipstream. He's definitely going to be getting DRS for this straight.
Yep.
Here they go past corners 7 and 8, going past corner 9 as well.
And of course,
he gets DRS.
Let's see if he can do anything this time around, but he can't. And of course, Leica and AJ now have to take DRS into consideration, as it is a huge factor in catching up and keeping up as well, or overtaking, I mean. And
Izzy is now got DRS on AJ. We might see something here.
If we can move on to the onboard of Izzy, he has saved his ERS the entirety of that lap. And Havoc has just received a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. But anyways, Izzy has saved his ERS the entirety of that last lap. I think he's going to try and use it to his advantage to try and slowly catch AJ. Izzy is a very strong and patient man, and he is one of our more skilled drivers, so he will be saving himself for maybe one of the DRS straights. AJ is going to be using no ERS as well, trying his best to save it for when he may need it to pull away from Izzy.
Definitely. Let's move down the pack to Bagpuss, as he has caught up with Havoc after being behind almost us a full 3 seconds, but he has caught up 2 of those 3 seconds and is currently quite close by Havoc. As we move up the pack to Maximus, who has fallen behind a little bit on Leica, who is 5 seconds behind Izzy, and Max does not seem to be launching an attack this run. But now Izzy comes up with ERS on AJ again. Let's see if he does anything here. The camera angle is being fucked a little, but oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. But they move into turn 2, where he went off the track a little last lap. Let's look at
Is it
Max.
taking?
Oh, Mats has currently
Oh, Matt's
overtaken
moving
Mary
in
in
on the
turn 1,
inside.
and now they're going into turn 2. Is Mary gonna go back at them? No, he
Mary
goes
trying to go.
wide.
Mary, I think he was trying to go on to the outside, but he took a bit too much curb and the car just carried it all the way to the outside of the track. Matt is going to slowly start pulling away from Mary.
Yep, and that was a very nice move by Mats, done with a little bit of a helping hand of DRS, but now Bagpuss is coming very close to Havoc, as well as Max
And I'm
being very close to Leica. Again, let's see if whenever they come out onto the straight, if anything will happen.
Can we move to Bagpuss real quick with Havoc coming extremely close to having an overtake ability, but he had to brake a little earlier. AJ!
AJ has come into the
It's
pits,
going
guys.
into the pits. AJ's going into the pits. We don't know why. Let's see. Let's see what he's trying to do.
Yep. Now
He's going for. I think he's going for a one stop.
oh, Bagpuss has, or
I saw
Havoc
blue right
has
there.
spun in the last turn, and he is now last of the pack. That will coming into the pit lane. He spun. I don't know if that was
That's
Bagpuss' fault. It might have been. It definitely might have been, as I did see a little nudge by Bagpuss.
Let's move up to Mary, who is currently trying to catch Matt's. Robot, you can take it from here for me. I will be right back.
Right,
Roger that. How's it going so far?
Very nicely, I think. A lot has happened so far, but now the field seems to be kind of spreading out. Poor Havoc, 35 seconds behind Bagpuss now. But we'll see how that plays out.
And who are you spectating currently?
I'm currently spectating Mary to
Mary.
see if he can do anything with Mats, but he is almost a second behind. Nothing very interesting happening right now. Izzy setting a new fastest lap time of 1:21.9. That is a very decent lap for sure.
And I am back. We have a very, very spread out rear end of the grid. And currently, we have Lika trying his best to catch up to Izzy, who currently is Izzy went off the track. Izzy went off the track. He's lost the rear end. He's got to be careful coming back onto
Leica
the
can
track.
overtake him.
And
that
he
is-
does, moving in on the inside.
That is a very rare mistake by Izzy. I have personally never seen him make a mistake before. Maybe he was lucky to not have crashed out into the wall there, but
And Maximus is going to try as well and move in down the inside and overtake Izzy. I think Izzy lost his front wing. Well, he's
Izzy
lost part
does
of it.
have a bit of front wing damage, as you can see there. That is very rare. That is...
I think he's
but,
going to have to come into the pits for that.
He might,
That
yes.
was very unfortunate on Izzy's part. He is not doing so hot in the preseason testing despite having won the D1 championship.
As he goes
Hits
into the pits
cone.
for
If you-
a new front wing.
If you don't mind, let's watch this pit stop. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo team can do for their driver to try and get him back onto the track as quickly as possible.
Of course, at
That
the
plus-
very end, now coming into the pits behind AJ.
He's gonna be taking the hard tire.
Oh, that was very weird. What?
Havoc has another 3-second time penalty. That means he now has 6 seconds added to his time. And he has another warning as well for exceeding the track limits. Mats also has a warning for exceeding the track limits in the Red Bull car. Let's move back up to the front of the grid. Lika leads the race with Maximus close behind. These two have been fighting almost the entire race for one position or another. I think Lika has met his rival for D1.
Yep, AJ is currently catching up to Mary very quickly. Currently at turn 10, turn 11, and now turn 12. But we shall see. Of course, AJ's got the fresher tires of only 2 laps old mediums, and Mary has got 8 laps old
Of course,
mediums
they
as
are
well.
going.
So
They're
he's
going to be
closing
coming
up.
very close on the
Oh.
start-finish straight. AJ getting DRS, turning up his DRS mode. He's going to try and move down the inside. Mary tries to defend, but it's no use. AJ gets past fairly easily as he approaches the first corner. What an amazing move from this rookie driver. He is doing amazing for one of his first races in Season 3.
Yep, indeed. He that was a very clean move. Nothing that Mary could have done about it. And yeah, it was. But let's see how the strategies play out, because Mary is now on quite old mediums together with Leica and Max. He may hold it for some longer, of course, as they are mediums.
And it seems that Max is going to be pulling, well, Lika is going to be pulling away from Max at roughly a second a lap. They were fairly close before, but I wonder what happened. I think Max might have gone a bit wide, and now Lika has a bit more of a gap that he has to work with. There still isn't any room for error, though. Any wide turn, any of that can
As he
instantly
now
cause
goes
the end of
into the
Lika's
pits,
race.
Leica just went into the pits, locking up his tires to still be
I'll watch.
on par with the speed limit.
I will watch Lika, and I will see what tires he decides to go with. He's going to be going with the hard tire to last him the rest of the race.
Let's see. AJ
Red
is currently
Bull,
also very close to Mats. Let's see if he might launch an attack on Mats with
Havoc has also gone off the track in Sector 2 as well. AJ close behind Mats. Red Bull sitting in a comfortable 1-2 position. Let's see what happens.
Let's see how long they can hold that 1-2 for, with AJ breathing down the neck of Mats going into turn 8 right now. And you see how much the tires matter on the circuit, as AJ's catching up to Mats insanely quickly, now getting DRS into turn 10. He was looking up the inside, but just about didn't dive bomb him, and he passes him now as Mats goes wide.
AJ goes on the inside, and he's now going to try and chase down Maximus and get his first place position back. He still currently holds the fastest lap, I do believe, and Izati is going to try and make his way back up the field as well, breathing down Lika's neck, who has just gone into the pits for the hard tire. Izati is currently sitting on the soft tire as we move to the helicopter cam to watch them go down the start-finish straight. Izati is going to have ERS. He's going to turn his ERS up to 3. He has DRS as well. Lika moves down the outside. Izati tries to get the slipstream, and he moves down the outside of Lika into the first corner.
And he comes out on top. Beautiful move there by Izati, again aided by DRS. It is such a strong helping hand for overtaking, of course. But Izati moves up the ranks into 5th place. Havoc now a minute behind.
There's a glitch for me. His left-right tire is a hard tire, but the rest of his tires are soft tires.
That's very weird.
Really
I cannot
weird.
see that. He seems to be slowing down to let the other cars by. He must have pitted again.
Seeing the blue flag. Havoc seeing the blue flag, which means let the other cars by. He has been lapped by every single car on the grid. And right now, we can just see, on a side note, how much AJ is catching. He was 6 seconds behind, but now he is catching Max fairly quickly.
Yep.
Max,
and
who
Max,
I'm sure
of course,
is going to
have to
very
pit
determined.
soon, because his mediums are now getting very old, and I think he might actually go for a one-stop, switch to the hards to see if he can drag them out till the end.
Maybe.
I think
Anyways,
that is
sorry.
more of a no, it's fine. I think that is more of a Max-ish strategy than going for softs now, as Max has always been one to try and preserve his tires more than go for absolute pace.
Well, I don't believe that it would be a very smart strategy to go for a new set of softs. As the FIA directly states, the soft tire can only last roughly 18 laps. So if he can at least get his tires up to...
Oh,
Sorry about that.
it's
If he can at least get his tires to last him until the 16th lap. Oh, never
as he
mind.
goes
He's going to
into
come
the
in now.
pits.
This is going to give AJ the chance he needed to get back up into pole position. And it looks like he is going to go for the soft tire. Oh, no, he's going for the hards.
Right, and Matt's, let's see if he does come out in front of Izzy. He does not, I think.
It's going to be very close. Max is probably going to have a bit of a chance to try and overtake Izzy. Only coming out only 1 second short of Izzy. Matt is going to try and start leading this race as well. Add some laps led to his record on the hard tire.
As,
AJ...
Mary is dragging these tires out for very long. He has some beautiful throttle control, as you can see. Makes the most minor movements with that pedal.
AJ is going to be coming in this lap.
Yes, and Mary, I think, might be too. We are only still waiting for Mats to really show when he is going to be coming in. Apparently the overcut has worked for Max, as he has stretched out his tires longer than Leica has, and now has come out in front by a comfortable 3 whole seconds, with Bagpuss dragging behind 22 seconds. The rear of the pack is very stretched out because of crashes and whatnot. Mary is still not going into the pits, now on 14 laps old mediums. Let's see how long he can drag those out for.
It will be interesting to see the strategy that Ferrari have planned out for Mary, since Mary is still on the same mediums that he started this race with. I'm not quite sure when he's planning on coming into the pits, but if he comes in anytime soon, it might be for the soft tire. Izzy using this quicker tire to try his best and catch up to Mary, and he will pass through the DRS zone less than a second behind Mary. He's gonna turn. Let's move on to Izzy to the onboard. He's gonna go
around the outside
and get past
turn 10
Mary.
and gonna get past comfortably Mary. Sorry to go
What
in
an
there.
amazing move from Izzy. That's definitely gonna help him with his points finish, and he is just proving what controller drivers can do compared to wheel drivers. And he is just flying through this track, and he's able to make up all the time he has lost because of that pit stop, which is an amazing feat to be shown from these drivers.
It sure is. That move was very skilled. No contact between the two of them. That was very good. But Mary, of course, also not defending a lot, seeing as his chances against Izzy are quite low. But Mary has still not come in, and you could just see how bad his tires really are, with Max also catching up to him.
Mary has already dropped back 2 seconds, and even more props to Izzy for overtaking in a place where overtakes A are not common and B are extremely difficult to perform. Maximus also going to be getting DRS turning up his ERS deployment. He's going to try and use the harder tire to dive down the inside. No, he isn't. He's too far behind, he realizes, to try and make any move on Mary as we jump into the onboard with Maximus. He's going to be trying his best to stay at least a bit close to him throughout through turn 14, 15, and 16 as they pass the DRS zone, the detection zone, and he uses DRS and his ERS deployment to catch up to Mary. Mary is gonna make no move to defend as Max moves down the outside and gets past him before entering turn 1. What an amazing move from Max and Izzy.
And I do not understand how Mary has not pitted yet. 16 laps on these mediums. That is insane. And Mats is on 16 laps old hards.
AJ's gone off. AJ's gone off. I think he's out of the session.
Oh,
he's not moving.
Might be, yes.
AJ is...
No, he's...
Oh, no, he's moving. He's got to be careful coming back onto the track, though.
Let's see.
That is crazy. Robot, did you catch what happened to AJ?
I didn't, but it looks like it was just on the entry into turn 7. I think what usually happens there is you take too much outside curb, because when you try to turn in, you need to be as wide as possible. He's taken too much, and he's just gone straight into the wall. And
he just lets Luca by. Well, technically it was Havoc. Technically he shouldn't have done that, but he's gonna lock up into the entry into Sector 3. I think he's going to be coming in.
Yeah, you can also see he's lost the front right end plate and 3 of the 5 winglets, so he's going to be extremely hard to turn, and you can see he's cutting the corner right now to just try and make it around this track.
Yep, and he goes into the pits, of course. But that is pretty much his race almost thrown away, as he just can't... How is he going to catch up in... this amount of laps whilst being that far behind? He was leading this race just now, and now he's very close to the back.
If I may make a reference to a previous race of another very skilled driver who almost threw his race away, but did in fact throw his race away, it reminded me of that particular incident, but luckily AJ was able to come back and at least stay in P7. Although Mats has now started his lead of the race. Oh! Havoc's retired. Havoc is out of the session.
Has he crashed or... Oh, shit.
Outside of 7 and lost it into turn 8, hit the wall.
There's now a virtual safety car. There is absolutely no doubt that all these cars are going to try and come in and pit for the freshest tires possible.
Mats has come
putting on the medium tire. Izzy is going to also be putting on the medium tire. Max is going to stay out. He might be pitting in this lap. I do not know.
Mary, of all people, is also staying out, which is very surprising.
AJ is going to have a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. The drivers are probably going to use this time to try and catch up. Who knows? I am fairly looking forward to this restart. Mats, Mary, and Lika looking like they're going to have a battle for P3. As the green flags go back out, DRS is re-enabled, and the drivers are away.
Yep.
What an amazing race this has been so far.
Very eventful indeed. As we see Leica in front of Izzy and behind Mary, he's probably going to be able to catch up to Mary quite quickly, as Mary is still on these insanely old tires, and Izzy is going to do his absolute best to catch up as well on these two with some older tires as well. As we see Leica and Mary and Izzy coming out of turn 12 now into turn 13 and into the chicane, downhill chicane, that is 14 and 15, and into the last turn and onto the pit straight. Izzy and Leica are gonna
There
get
goes Izzy
DRS as well.
turning up his ERS.
And Leica moves down to the inside, and Izzy they go too wide into turn 1. Izzy and Mary, but Izzy moves past, and Leica does too. Izzy is now looking to pass Leica, but doesn't, or he might.
Oh,
They're going
Izzy
wheel
is
to
moving
wheel
down the
onto the
inside.
straight
He's
into
he's gonna
turn
try and
4,
overtake.
and
He's gonna try and over. Oh fuck!
yeah,
This
that's
is
fine. And he has overtaken Leica.
Izzy now gonna sit in a comfortable P3 position. Lika had absolutely no opposition as Izzy moved. He's gonna keep it in 5th gear throughout that entire turn, so he doesn't have to worry about slowing down. But that definitely is gonna mess up his engine a bit and wear it down a bit more, as he starts pulling away from Lika and starts gaining onto Mats. Once again, Red Bull are looking at a possible 1-2 finish with only 13 laps to go. Mary is going to have to pit one of these days. But I don't think today is that day, as he just goes outside of the pit lane
Izzy
and
sets a new fastest lap.
stays out. A 121.166. Mary slowing down, losing a lot of time because of how worn out his tires are. That is definitely going to affect a lot of his race and give AJ the possible edge he needs if he can catch up. Well, AJ's trying already to catch up to Bagpuss, which I don't think is going to be very difficult. It might take a bit of time to catch up in the first place. Max taking an aggressive amount of curb in turn 8. Matt's doing the exact same thing along with Izzy. Izzy following behind, taking another aggressive amount of curve past turn 9, trying his best to catch up, with Lika behind, trying his best to gain.
Yep, and Mary, I'm very confused at his strategy, as I think he might just go for a zero stop strategy.
Except the thing is, he is required to use at least 2 different compounds. Otherwise, he could get a penalty. So he must pit at some point in time. We just don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah, and I don't see the benefit, as he still hasn't pitted. And he's just slowing down and slowing down. AJ's already shaved off quite a bit of seconds off of his gap to Bagpuss. But we shall see if he can ever catch up to him. And Izzy has now caught up to Mats pretty closely. Let's see how they do. Currently spectating Izzy going into turn 8, that is. Sorry, I had to go into the infamous turn 9. And Izzy already gets DRS, meaning he can only get closer to Mats. And Mats, wonder how much of a fight he's going to put up against the former champion. It does look like... Yep.
Sorry, if we change the spectator menu and we look at the gap to the leader, we can see Mats 3 seconds behind his teammate, Izzy 4 seconds behind Max.
Yep.
Not M-A-T-S, but M-A-X. Lika,
and it looks like Izzy is about to overtake Mats.
Yep, on the pit straight. He's gonna dive down his inside, and he does, going wheel to wheel into turn 1, and Leica's in front by turn 2. And into long turn 3 they go.
Amazing overtake.
It is. Again, such an overtake that Izzy, I personally did not know Izzy had in him, as Figgy has appeared to have had a network disconnection. But we shall continue the stream. Wonder what is up with him. But I personally did not know that Izzy had these kind of overtakes in him. I personally thought he was just a very quick hot lap driver that could just go around and around for a very long time. But in this race, he has shown that he can actually do and perform some very, very good overtakes. So, currently asking Figgy what happened. Let's see. Robot, would you mind taking his spot for a second here?
Not at all. I'm just riding on board with Izzy right now. It seems everyone is spaced apart by at least a few seconds, and as you said earlier, it's phenomenal that Mary is still running around on these medium tyres.
Just had network connection issues. I greatly apologize for that.
It's fine.
I just lagged out of the lobby.
Mary has finally, talking about Mary, speak of the devil, has finally come into the pits for softs. So that was his strategy, to go onto softs, and now
And Max
Izzy
unfortunately came off the track at turns 7 and 8.
Yeah,
He has lost the position. He has lost the position to Izzy now. He came off and on the exit of turn 8, unfortunately, caused by, I suppose, the infamous turn 7. So it's 7 and 9 that are the danger zones today.
Yep, and now Mats is very, very close. And wheel to wheel, they go into turn 10 or turn 13, and Mats has overtaken Max.
What did I miss?
It looks like Max has actually lost his front left end plate of his wing. He's coming into the pits, as you can see. He's probably going to put on the soft or mediums now and race to the end. Super unfortunate for Max there.
Yeah.
What did I miss with Izzy coming into first? How did he do that?
Max spun and hit or lost a bit of his front wing, and that allowed Izzy to overtake him.
I think Izzy is just going to sit comfortably on this P1 spot. Max coming out of the pits on the soft tire, as you said, Robot. Bagpuss start going through the final two corners. AJ hot on his tail. I do believe AJ is going to get the DRS, and he does. He's going to use it to move on to the outside. He turns down his DRS deployment as he breezes by Bagpuss. But I don't think Bagpuss is going to go down without a fight, even if. And they're both on the hard tire. AJ is going to start pulling away from Bagpuss and trying to catch up to Max, who is not that far ahead of him, only 6 seconds.
But Max is on way fresher and faster tires. Of course, the 0 laps old softs and the 7 laps old hards. Let's have a look at how many pit stops everybody has done. So Izzy has gone for the 2 stop and is now currently leading the race. Mats is doing a very good job with that 1 pit stop and being in P2. Leica's also done 1 pit stop, Max 2, AJ has done 2, both for front wing changes, and Bagpuss and Mary have done only 1. Yep, and so Matt's the Red Bull 1-2 finish seems to have been thrown in the trash. Of course, not on purpose by Maximus, but Izzy will probably, unless he makes a mistake, because I do not see Mats catching up with him, be the victor of this preseason event. So Leica is just, everybody is kind of just not doing a lot right now. Everybody's spaced apart a lot.
Oh, AJ spun.
AJ spun again.
Spun.
Oh god, I'm messing up the.
He's got to be careful coming back onto the track. He almost hits Mary, getting in the way of him. A very dangerous on-track entry.
Oh, Izzy has just gone into the pits. Why has he gone into the pits? For softs. That is an interesting move.
I think he had a puncture. I think he maybe got a puncture at the last second. He's now on a 3 stop. And now, once again, Red Bull have a
Be back in 2
comfortable P1 position. AJ has spun once again, and he's now dropped back behind Mary, who is on the faster tire. Mary is going to try and catch up to his teammate, despite being 19 seconds behind. AJ is going to try his best to catch up to Mary as well, turning up his ERS to overtake, but that's going to drain out his battery, even though it is extremely effective at getting him up to speed. What an amazing race this has been so far. Max currently leads the race. Lika behind by 6 seconds. In P3 is a T, 5.9 seconds behind Lika and catching. Maximus in the Red Bull, Max's teammate, sits in a comfortable P4, 13 seconds behind is a T. And behind him sits Bagpuss and the Ferrari, 14 seconds behind Max. In P6, Mary sits 9 seconds, 8.8 now behind his teammate. AJ is going to try and catch up. He's going to get DRS. He's going to turn up his ERS deployment and try his best to catch up to Mary. And he does so at the start of Sector 3. Mary going a bit wide. AJ taking a nice line. Mary almost loses his back end, and that's going to slow him down. But AJ has now gone a bit wide, and Mary is trying his best to keep this position. But AJ is going to come extremely close to him at the entrance to the start-finish straight. He gets DRS. Right now, he's turned up his ERS deployment. Despite it draining his battery, he's going to move to the outside. Mary has no opposition, and he gets past at the entrance to turn 1 into Sector 1. What an amazing move from AJ onto Mary.
Again, the same move we have seen done by or Isati and a couple others. Turn 1 seems to be the spot for overtaking, but I wonder whether Isati can still catch up to Leica Mats, as otherwise Mats will take his very first win.
And what a win it will be, especially at this race. Isati setting the fastest lap. He is trying his best to catch up to Lika, and he's doing an amazing job of doing so, despite being on a 3-stop strategy and putting the soft tire on twice in a row. He's going to move extremely quick through turn 4 as he approaches turn 5, gaining a lot of seconds onto Lika. Lika is none the wiser, but I'm sure he is getting notifications from his engineer saying how quickly Isati is catching.
Yep.
He's
already
now
having shaved off 2.5 seconds almost off of his gap to Leica. And now only 0.3 seconds. He might be overtaking on this DRS straight into turn 12
gonna get DRS.
or into turn 10. I mean,
Lika's gonna stay on the inside.
Leica goes very defensive. There's
wheel to wheel. He almost hits it. Lika almost hitting the front wing of Isati. That was extremely close. That was such a nice move. But sadly, Isati had no space to see through it to the end. As they approach the start-finish straight, Isati is going to get DRS once more, and I can assure you he's going to turn up his ERS. Lika moves to defend. He has DRS, and Isati moves down the outside of Lika.
Is such a good defender when it comes to when it comes to racing, because he has so far been the only one to successfully defend against Isati, but now Isati sadly does sail past. But let's see if he can catch up 7 seconds in 3 laps.
Seeing as to how he was able to catch up 2 seconds, seeing as to how Isati was able to make up a 2-second interval in just 3 corners, just proves how skilled this driver is, and also how determined he is to win this race and prevent Max from getting his first win. And he has 3 laps to do so, and as we've seen in this race, anything can happen in those 3 laps as he moved outside turn 12 and approaches turn 13 very quickly. Matt's already starting his 31st lap, well ahead of Izati. Izati, who's made up 1 whole second throughout this entire lap. Lika trying his best to close in, and he's doing so. He's gone from 3 seconds down to 2.5, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get past him with just 2 laps to go in this race. AJ trying his best to catch up to Bagpuss and potentially overtake, getting a better points finish, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. As we've seen throughout this entire race, Bagpuss and AJ have been on the receiving end of one incident or another. AJ experiencing many different spins and such, and Bagpuss, well, he's experienced quite a thing or two himself during this race. Izati has moved it up to 5 seconds from 6. He's gaining about a second per sector, and it just proves how quick he is as a driver. AJ very close to Bagpuss. He's gonna try and use the slipstream. Bagpuss locks up on his right tire, approaching quarter 4, and here they go, approaching quarter 5. AJ is gonna try and dive down the inside.
They made contact.
He pushes Bagpuss to the outside, and he gives Bagpuss the position. He's locked up, and he's made contact with Bagpuss, trying to move down the outside again. He's just lost a bit of time than if he hadn't locked up, but he had to brake hard. Otherwise, he wouldn't have stopped, and he probably would have taken both of them out, and that would not have been a good end to this race. 1 lap to go, roughly, for the rest of the grid. Matt seems like he's going to win this race. Izati is not going to catch up, and so I think they know that, so they're going to sit in their comfortable podium positions. But meanwhile, let's stay on the camera with Bagpuss and AJ. This is very close racing between these two drivers. AJ is going to get the help of DRS. He's going to get the slipstream of Bagpuss as he moves to the outside. Bagpuss, no opposition whatsoever. And AJ gets past and stays in front of Bagpuss. What an amazing move. We've seen a whole lot of that this entire race. Moving down the inside into turn 1. And on the outside as well. That might have been the most memorable one.
Sorry to cut in here, but Izati seems, as you said, not be able, like he's not going to be able to catch up in this last lap. Let's actually jump on board with him. 2 mats. Those 3 seconds seem to be too much even for our former champion, and that means Mats has might just get his first win. And considering that Izati has won every single race he finished last season, that is one hell of an achievement, and I gotta give it to him. He's driven super cleanly and just done his utmost best to just drive as fast as he can, and he did just that.
As Martin Brundle would say, his driving, well, Jeremy Clarkson and Martin Brundle would both say Matt's driving was absolutely superb. Let's jump to the broadcast camera and focus it on Max as he takes the entry through the last few corners of Sector 3, going through turn 12, approaching turn 13. Very optimistic. Izati 1 second behind, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it up. And here he comes. Matt's around turn 16 in first place, winning his first race ever. Congratulations to Max. Izati comes home in P2. What an amazing race. That was an amazing race. Congratulations to Matt, to his first win of the season. What an amazing drive.
Very good indeed. Just immense props to him for beating Izati. Even though Izati was catching up really fast, even in those last few quarters, he caught up almost a second, or half a second. It was Mats was very consistent in that one stop. That was amazing.
That was such an amazing race. Max was able to go from the hard tire straight to the soft to try and bring it in. And he wins the Spain Grand Prix. And he must be extremely happy about his first win of his career. Congratulations to him.
And Izzy is now congratulating Mats on Discord. Very sportsmanship like. Lexus spamming GG. That is very cool.
And look at the drivers standing on the podium right now. The Red Bull team have taken the win. In P2 sits an Alfa Romeo, and in P3 sits a Williams.
Yep, and that is going to be some very important points for Red Bull. And this is promising for this division. Very, very promising indeed.